Sportowe emocje pod koszem zapewnia Anvil, sponsor strategiczny klubu.
You have to remember where you started, and for me that I started playing football, so to say that I'm a professional basketball player is astonishing. So I have to remember that sometimes.
Kamery włączone, lampy włączone, a to oznacza, że możemy zaczynać kolejny odcinek Off-Screena. Dziś moim gościem jest Deane Williams. Hello, Deane.
Hi.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You've been in the team for a few weeks now, but our fans still don't know much about you. So I think it's the high time to change that. You're crazy about what? Crazy, you're nuts about what thing, in a positive sense?
Most recently, I would say, of course, my family, but my son. We just had him about 16 months ago now, and he's just completely changed our lives. He's a fantastic human being already, so much character, so much personality, and when you have tough days on the court, it makes it so much better to go home and see someone that's always smiling at you, always happy. So, he's kind of taken a lot of weight off my shoulders. Personally, he's just, I just think the world of him.
Great. No one knows it, but you are great in what?
Oof.
Besides basketball?
I think my general knowledge is pretty good. Yeah.
All right.
Some people say that, stuff, a lot of things about nothing, nothing useful, but, I think general knowledge is pretty good. I think, I pick up on a lot of things. I've been a lot of places, traveled a lot of places, and I'm quite curious about where I've been and the things that I've seen. So that kind of works in my favor.
So the next question is going to be great for you, because if you could have a dinner with one person, dead or alive, who would you pick? That's a tough one.
That is a very tough one. That's a very tough one. There's a lot of people. I couldn't even pick one. Wow.
We have time, so you can just think about it.
It might be
an
odd answer, but I think I would speak to myself in about 50 years' time.
Oh.
If that would be possible, yeah.
That's interesting, because I have a question later on about that, but we'll come back to it. What do you value most in people, and what you hate about them?
I think I value most is honesty and realness. The thing I dislike the most about people is probably selfishness. It's good for me because I play in a team sport, so it's very difficult to be selfish. So, I'm always surrounded by great guys, and that's, definitely the case on this team. I think being able to give to people who are, less fortunate, in multiple ways, physically, health-wise, financially, I think it's important to treat people as equals,
To whom do you owe the most?
My parents, most definitely. If it wasn't for my parents, I definitely would not be a professional basketball player at all. When I was growing up, I played football till I was about 14, 15 years old. Played basketball on and off, but it was mostly football. And I got quite a high level at my age. I was playing in the Southampton Academy, which is...
You support them still?
No. I'm a Manchester United fan.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, but got to quite a good level playing football, and then, one day I just decided that I didn't want to do it anymore. My dad had been basically supporting me throughout my whole life, trying to get me to the top level of football, and I was pretty much almost there. And then I decided, it was kind of boring, so to say. I got tired of it. Then I took on basketball full time, took it more serious, and he was with me every step of the way. So I owe everything to my parents. Yeah.
What you like and what you don't like in the Great Britain?
What I like is honestly the weather.
Seriously?
Unpopular opinion, yeah. You get the 4 seasons, and I think it's a place where, regardless of the weather, every place has, a place where you can be comfortable or you can enjoy. Obviously people think it rains a lot, which it does, but there are definitely places where you can still enjoy whilst it's raining. When the sun is shining, it's fantastic. One thing I dislike. Oof. I don't think I dislike anything about England. Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing to say.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But no, I just love it. Yeah, I really can't say anything bad. Maybe, I don't know, that they drive on a different side of the road than everyone else. That's all I can think of, really.
That's odd one, but
yeah, because when I go back home, it's a bit confusing. It takes me like a couple of minutes to adjust, and those couple of minutes are quite dangerous.
If you could change a character trait or a habit in yourself, what would it be?
Probably self-belief. I think a lot of the times when I or other people, are playing basketball, it's easy to kind of compare yourself to others and those around you, whether they're doing better than you or not. But also, you have to remember like where you started. And for me, that I started playing football, so to say that I'm a professional basketball player is astonishing. So I have to remember that sometimes. One thing I like about myself is probably I think I'm quite approachable. Easy to talk to. Like I said earlier, just an honest person. Easy to get along with. Yeah.
So you wouldn't change much in yourself?
Not too much, no. I think I'm quite happy with who I am.
Okay. Do you read comments about yourself on the internet? Or maybe DMs from the fans?
I have once. It's not something that happens often. Usually when it's happened is after you've lost like a game that you should have won. But for me, it's not so common to get comments about me. So, and even if there was, I don't really pay much attention to them. If they're comments of support, then sure, I appreciate those because that means you got people watching you and people looking out for you, people that appreciate what you're doing for not only the club but maybe for them personally. So yeah.
What do you regret in your life? Is there anything?
Probably not playing basketball sooner and getting those years of experience. Even though I was young, time is always useful. So any opportunity where I could get time back, I definitely think, and that doesn't just go for basketball, it goes for a lot of things as well, I guess.
Sometimes do you think about this football, that you could just stay with football?
Yeah, definitely. Although that's difficult because, like I said, like I am where I am now and it's a great place to be. There's always a thought of what if, but I think both paths have worked out pretty well, so.
It's all right. What is the most stupid thing that you have ever done?
Wow. What is the dumbest thing? I'm sure my parents can answer this easily for me, but for me, I think my judgment is a little bit different than theirs. Maybe it's something so dumb that I just can't remember. Probably when I was younger, me and my friends, we used to ride our bikes probably like, 10, 12 miles to this river. And there was a tree that hung over the river. We didn't know what was at the bottom of the river, but we would climb up on the tree, jump out into the river, like, with no second thought. So I guess that could have ended badly, but luckily it didn't. So yeah, that was probably, being an athlete growing up, that probably wasn't the best decision.
If you could turn back the time, would you do it? To live a moment once again, or maybe just to change something in the past?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm more than content with where my life has been and where it's gone, because all the things that have happened before have built me up, to be where I am now. So if I was to change anything, then maybe today wouldn't be the same. And, I love where I'm at right now, so.
When you look at yourself in 10 years, maybe 15 years, who would you like to see?
Probably just an older looking version of myself. I don't think I want to change too much. I think I want to keep that young spirit about me. I don't want to get a little bit older and start being, you know, a bit grumpy or a bit miserable. So I think just still like the same energetic person that I am now. Obviously a bit more wise, maybe making even better decisions. But yeah, I think just to continue to be who I am, not to change too much, regardless if, you know, what happens, you know, throughout the course of my life up until that point, 10, 15 years from now, I think just to be the same. Yeah.
And what would you say to a 10-year-old Deane?
Play basketball. Stop playing football. No, I think, wow. Definitely listen to the advice of those who have been through what you are aspiring to go through. So, you know, listen to your parents because they've always had like a lot of life experience. You know, listen to athletes, listen to, you know, anyone that's kind of been where you want to go, so you can learn from them, because the best people to learn from are the people that have been through, you know, those certain experiences. So, you know, your parents always tell you like, you know, when you get older, la 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 la, or athletes always tell you when you get older, like you're gonna wish that you stretched more or taking care of your body, and you know, it's funny because it's all true, which is hard to admit sometimes, but yeah.
I know you have a lot of wise words in your mind, but if the whole world could hear you right now, every person, what would you say?
Just be kind to one another. I think it's very easy to assume or take everything at face value for who people are. I think, you know, as an athlete, you're looked at as how you perform on the court rather than how you are as a person. So, you know, I hope everyone can look past, you know, what's kind of in front of them and try and, you know, look deeper into one another and get to know one another before you judge them, and just, you know, just understand everyone's situation and, yeah, and just be kind.
What is the most important thing in life?
Loving those who love you. Yeah, for sure.
Simply.
Simply.
So, Deane, the last question. Are you a happy person right now?
Most definitely, yeah, I am.
Because of the family?
Yeah, I mean,
the life situation?
Yeah, I think, you know, like up until recent, I wouldn't say life has been tough, but, you know, I've had a bit of a turning point in my life where I've learned to appreciate everything outside of basketball a little bit more. You know, obviously it's such a big part of your life, but you have to understand that it's not defining, you know, and that goes for everyone else. Like your work doesn't define you, or, you know, certain situations don't define you. So I think if you can learn to look past that and look at life as a whole, and, you know, just be grateful for what you have, then, you know, living life becomes much easier, a lot more enjoyable. So, you know, I've been really enjoying what I'm doing recently and who I'm doing it with, and yeah, I'm extremely grateful.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.